being here. Welcome to the Five Elements workshop. If you don't know me, my name is Angie. Online, I have a studio here in Brownsville, Vermont, and I have regular weekly classes here, Sundays and Thursdays. My husband Josh plays live music Thursday night, and he was going to do this class, but he has a guitar lesson, and we thought, well, you should keep the guitar lesson for this morning. But in this workshop, we will be discussing briefly the five elements and talking about how we can create a relationship with them as we work through yoga practice, which involves postures, breath, and meditation. But I'll talk a little bit about simple things you can do every day to weave these elements into your day-to-day experience. I feel that it's so essential to remember our connection to these elements, especially in light of our environmental situation currently, but it also helps us to feel more connected and balanced when we make a regular practice of these five elements. So let's begin. I was saying in the last night workshop, I have the Bob Dylan version of slides today. So the five elements, if you're familiar with other systems, sometimes they use different elements, but the five elements, hopefully this is the right way for you, the five elements that we are working with are earth, air, fire, water, and ether. Hopefully I got that order. Earth, air, fire, water, and ether. All right. These are the elements that we will be looking at today. In Chinese medicine, they have metal, they have wood. That's a different system altogether. We're looking at these. Now, the five elements help us to create homeostasis, which is a sense of balance and health in the body, right? So we work with the elements in sort of holistic healing systems. As I said, you might be familiar with Ayurveda in Chinese medicine. Ayurveda especially uses these five elements. In Ayurveda, it says that you have all of these elements in your being, in your body, and you have a relationship to them. And the degree of your health is to the degree of balance within these elements. So you could have more fire. You might know somebody who is more fiery. You might know somebody who's more watery, right? So somebody who's crisp, clear, sharp in their decisions, but maybe prone to anger. You might know somebody who's watery, who's fluid, goes with the flow, maybe a little emotional. You might know somebody who's more earth, right? They're really grounded and steady and solid. You can always count on them. You might know somebody who's air or ether even. Lots of ideas, lots of movement. Sometimes with ether, there's a lot of creativity, but maybe somebody's kind of spacey, right? So we all have these qualities within us, and they shift, right? We'll shift through them over the course of our life, over the course of our days, within each seasons. So you can really go very deep with a relationship and understanding of the elements. We're just going to touch on daily practices today. Now, the five elements are an essential part of yoga and Ayurveda, which both come from India. But what I want to also help to recognize is that ancient Western culture also has a practice of the five elements. And I was surprised too when I learned this. I started practicing with a teacher from India who was deep into the five elements, and I always felt like, well, I'm not Indian. Is it okay that I do this? And as I continued to study, I actually found that in ancient Greece, there is the first writings in the Western world that indicate a recognition of these elements. And the teacher who first wrote this down and actually acknowledged these elements was Empedocles. Empedocles was from ancient Greece, but actually in Sicily. He was Sicilian, born in Agrigento. And he's called a pre-Socratic philosopher, so pre-Socrates. And his dates were 492 to 432 BCE, before the Common Era. Empedocles. And he's the first Westerner to say that there are elements and they are in all of us people, and we need to have a healthy relationship with them. What I love about what Empedocles said was that he called them the roots. He called them the roots of your being, your roots. And I think that is, actually, let me hold this, a good way to think of it. The roots are our essential nature and our essential components of being, right? So when we have all of these roots well established, right now we're getting into the gardening, we're starting seeds, we're finding the plants, they have to have steady roots. So when you have a relationship with these elements, a daily part of your life, you have well-established roots. Now, what's interesting, as sort of a side note, is that Empedocles related his elements. Now, he combined air and ether. He actually acknowledged the two, but put them under one root category. He equated each root, each element, with a Greek god. And so if you're familiar with this, I just think it's kind of interesting. So he said earth was Hera, fire is Hades, who was under Mount Etna, by the way. Water is Nestus, and I'll talk about Nestus in a moment. And air and ether, again, he acknowledged the two, but it put them in the same root, was Zeus. And I just thought that was kind of interesting. Now, Nestus, I had to look Nestus up. I was like, who's Nestus? I'm not familiar with Nestus. And in his writing, his ancient scrolls that he wrote about this, he has a quote, and he says that in describing these, now hear the fourfold roots of everything, enlivening Hera, Hades, shining Zeus, and Nestus moistens the mortal springs with her tears. Now, Nestus was the goddess Persephone. If you know who Persephone is, she's the daughter of Demeter, the daughter of the earth goddess, who was kidnapped by Hades and taken into the underground, and that's why we have winter and then spring. So for 6 months she has to stay underground, and for 6 months she comes up, and it's her tears of being separated from her mother that are nourishing us with water. I think that's interesting. They didn't like to say the name Persephone because she was equated with the underground, so they always had another name for her. Okay, so I just think these are interesting side notes, and if you have any kind of fascination with Greek culture and ancient Western culture, it helps us to feel like we can have this ancestral historical connection with the elements too. All right, so we will open with a little meditation. Now, if sitting upright for a length of time, we'll be sitting for a good 5 minutes or more. If that's hard for you, you could lie down and do this. So if you feel like you need to lie down, you can make yourself comfortable, or you can sit upright. And if you're sitting upright, I do suggest that you sit up on a pillow cushion of some kind. And we will take a mudra. It's just a way to hold your hands. The mudra we will open with is Chatur. Here, I'll put it up so you can see the spelling. Chatur mudra. Chatur mudra. And this is a mudra to help balance all of our elements. So if you take your hands and you let the fingertips touch, there's space, you see, between the fingers, but each of the tips touch, and then you hold this at your heart. Now, each of your fingers is related to one of the elements. And so when we bring them together, we bring all of the elements into harmony. One way of connecting to the elements is to hold this mudra and meditate for a few minutes every day. Again, you could lie down if that is better for you. Maybe close your eyes or let your gaze trail to the ground. Relax your shoulders. If you need to release this mudra at any time, you certainly can let your hands come down and rest. We will work our way through each of the elements and remembering our connection and relationship to the elements one at a time. Now in your ring finger, the ring finger is the element of earth. One way to remember is that often in our culture, right, when we get married, or partnered in some way, we put a ring on that finger to signify that. And you have an earthly partner. So with the element of earth, bring to mind a vision of the earth. So this might be the globe of the earth, envisioning that circular globe of our planet. And then take it down to this more immediate level and seeing in your mind the soil, the ground, the land, the dirt. So moving through all of our senses, connecting a sense to each of these elements. From the vision, come to the texture. What is the touch, the feel of earth? Can you feel it on your skin? What is the scent of earth? Can you smell that fresh soil? Does it have a sound? What would it be to taste the earth? Is there a food that comes to mind that is very earthy? To me, beets are a very earthy vegetable. What is your relationship to the element of earth? Now, in the body, it is said in yoga and Ayurveda that earth is in your bones, it's in your tissues and your muscles, the very physical structures of yourself. And we will chant the bija sound. A bija is a root sound connecting us to the element of earth. We'll chant the sound lam, the sound lam. I'll chant it and then you can repeat it. Lam. Together. Lam. From earth, we'll move to water. So moving through your five senses, we'll begin with the eyes and vision. Can you see the water in your mind? Maybe you draw up a particular body of water. Pond, lake, river, ocean, whatever comes to mind. And maybe for you, the tap water is the most immediate connection. Running the tap, taking a shower or bath. Now, what is the touch of water on your skin? Can you feel what it is to have water on your skin? What is the smell of fresh water? Does it have a particular scent? And the sound of water. What is the sound of water? The lapping sound or rushing sound, what comes to mind? Feel the freshness, the movement of water in the body. With yoga and Ayurveda, it is said that the water is, of course, in our fluids, located in the region where the organs are in the abdomen, watery organs. But it also connects to circulation in our blood, and the movement of these fluids through our system. And we'll chant the bija sound, the seed or root sound. Vwam. It's sort of a VW sound. Vwam. So I'll chant it and then you can repeat. Vwam. Together. Vwam. From water, we move to fire. See the form of fire, if it is the flames, the colors of fire. Can you feel the heat that comes from fire, that nourishes on these cold New England spring days? What is the gentle feeling sense of fire? What is the scent of fire? The smell of a fire nearby? And perhaps you can hear the rustling sound of fire. In the body, fire is said to be in the organs of digestion, metabolism. It is also found in our eyes as we take in light as information to the brain. And the sound for fire, the bija sound, is Ram. I'll chant it and then we'll chant together. Ram. Together. Ram. From fire, we'll move to air. What is the image of air? What comes to mind for you when you see air? Trust what you sense. Air is this vital energy, our breath, our movement. Can you feel the touch of air on your skin? Can you feel air as it draws in through your nose and into your lungs and out again? What is the smell of fresh air? Perhaps the springtime air is a lovely scent to draw in. Does it have a sound? Can you hear the rustling of the air? I've heard it said that when the wind moves through the leaves of a tree, that is the sound of the tree's voice. Feeling this animating life force in the body. Air is, of course, found in our lungs and our organs of respiration. And it's also found within our oxygenated cells, so it moves throughout the whole body. Air is at your heart space. And we'll chant the seed sound hum to connect with air. I'll chant it and then you repeat. Hum. Hum. And from air, we'll move to ether, this more subtle element. Ether is said to be space. We are made up of more space than matter. There is infinitely more space within us than matter. There's space within us, space around us. Space is the unified field. It is consciousness. It is potentiality. What is the image of space? What is the feeling of space? Can you feel when there is more space in a room or when you have more space in your life? What is the sound of space? Can you hear with the ears if a room has a lot of space in it? Does it have a smell? And the body's space is said to be between all the things, between your organs, your cells, within your tissues. It is the movement of your nervous system, the way information channels through your body. Space is your consciousness and your mind. The seed sound for ether, ether is space, is Om. Let's chant Om 3 times. Exhale, then inhale. Om. Let your palms come together. Now, if they've held that mudra, you can bring them together, maybe rub them, and then let your head bow to your heart. And then we'll release the hands and lift the gaze. If you're on your back, you slowly can take your time returning to seated. And we'll take just a few minutes to journal. You can journal about your meditation experience. So you can write about, try to make a note of each of the elements, anything that came up for you, a few words or sentences. what you visualized or sensed. And then maybe make a note if there was an element that you had trouble connecting with, harder to draw up imagery and sensory information about. So take a few minutes here. It'll take about another minute or so. And we'll finish up with our journaling. And the journal is really for your own reflection, although at the end I'll perhaps offer an opportunity for folks to ask questions or bring up anything on that meditation. So we'll move into our movement portion. I'll just scoot back a little bit. So we'll slowly work through each of these elements and asanas and breath work that pertain to each. We will begin seated. You can sit, continue to sit. If you've been sitting with cross-legged with one leg in front, you might switch it and put the other leg in front. And some of this pranayama work that I'm sharing with you in relation to the elements comes from a teacher. Some of you know Swami Guru Sharananand, who offered some of this to me. So we'll take the hands and bring them down so that you're touching the very earth. Now, I like to think of the building that we're in, whatever building you're in, here or elsewhere, and remember how it is rooted and settled into the earth. Sometimes when my hands are here and I'm connecting to earth, I bring to mind a land acknowledgement, so I remember the land I'm on, all the sentient beings that share this land with me. And I also think in our country of the United States, I think of the First Nations people, the indigenous people who were here before many of our own ancestors, and how they nourished and tended to this land. Connecting to the earth through your hands into the ground. And we'll begin Ujjayi breath. If you're not familiar with this breath, you engage the muscles at the back of the throat like you are going to fog up a mirror. So you would say the aspirant sound. You can open your mouth to learn it. You can do it in and out the mouth to start. So you catch that sound, that little constriction. And then ultimately we close the mouth and do it through the nose, but you might still hear the sound of your breath. So it's sort of a hissing sound. So sink into the rhythm of the Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi connects us to earth. It slows and lengthens our breath. And then continuing your Ujjayi with your next inhale, we'll start to lift the hands, make them into fists, cross the arms in front and reach all the way up. And then exhale back down, hands to the earth. And continue in your own pace and rhythm. Each inhale, lifting up. Remember how you are one with the earth. The earth is our mother, right? Empedocles said Hera was the element of earth. She is a mother deity in the Greek system. A few more cycles. Good, one more. And as you circle down, this time you might walk your hands a little forward, maybe fold a little deeper, sway a little, feel into the bones, the muscles and structure of your body. And from here, you can release Ujjayi. We might call on it again in a moment. We'll walk the hands in, help the legs up. Go ahead, stretch them out. It's a long time to sit. Flex and point through your feet. And actually, let's just massage the feet a little bit. So I'm just sitting with my knees bent some, and I'm going to grab one foot and just wake up that one foot. We'll do both. Just pick one. When we tend to the feet, we better connect to the earth. You can, in the practice sheet it says, and I put that in the chat for the folks online, it's in the chat, the PDF, massaging your feet with oil is a wonderful way to connect with earth. All right, go to the other foot. Wake up the feet. How you plant your feet on the earth is how you draw the earth up into your body. All right, so from there, feel the feet nice and alive. We'll come back, so swing the legs back. Come on to hands and knees, and then with the feet behind you, just tap your feet a little. Good. Just because you got to do fun little kid-like things, even when you're an adult. And then curl and flatten and curl. So curl the toes under and then flatten. Do that a few times. From here, we will then shift into child's pose. So you could take the knees wide, the toes to touch, and sit hips back. If all the way back is hard on your knees, you can prop a little more forward. And in child's pose, bring to mind the image of a seed. Spring is such a potent time to connect with the image of the earth. All those seeds and roots nestled deep in the soil. Feel yourself like a little seed rooted into the dark, rich earth. At home, imagine and assist a little hands on your hips back, giving a gentle press, and then your lengthening of the spine, maybe a massage of your neck muscles. A couple more breaths here. Good, and from here, we'll take another exhale. Before we start to reach up again, come up onto hands and knees once more. Maybe circle the spine, take cat-cow just to loosen up your back. Asana, all of these postures and movements in yoga, they all are good for connecting us to earth. Well, they connect us to all the elements. So we can place a little more attention with specific postures and movements. So here, feeling the earth in your bones and your structures. Good. Now from tabletop, walk your hands a little forward. We'll come up into downward facing dog. The toes curl under again. Reach your legs up and back. In down dog, put the emphasis in your legs, your hips, the earthy parts of your body. So if there were parts of your body a little more attuned or aligned to earth, it would be those larger muscles, your legs, your hips. Psoas, deepen your core and gut. Pedal the feet. As you pedal the feet, feel like you're pushing them into sand or earth. You can go ahead and squish the mud between your toes. Sorry, my hands are cold. Just a few more breaths. All right, from downward dog, we'll take one more exhale. And then bring the hands and feet together. You can move the feet up. You could move the hands back, a little of both. Bend your knees. Hold your arms and sway. Release the head, neck, and jaw. You might even inch your feet a little wider, like a wider stance is also a more earthy stance. Push into those feet, inhale, and then exhale, we'll just soft roll up. Circle your arms at the top. And then hands will touch, lower them to your heart space. Good. Let's take one round. We'll just do one round of sun salutation just to unify and loosen everything up. So come to the top of your space and take your feet maybe a little wider than hips width, right? Really feel rooted and grounded in your legs. Bend your knees a few times. Can you feel how that gets you in your heels? Gets you in the gluteal muscles? And if you can feel the glutes, the heels, then you're sinking into the earth in a good way. Inhale, bend the knees, reach the arms up, chair pose. Let's just pulse that a few times. Exhale, forward. Let's inhale, come back up, chair. A few times, just in your own rhythm and breath. Strengthening the legs, waking up the body. Good. One more time, when you're up in chair, hold. Take another inhale. And this exhale will come forward and stay in the fold. You could keep the knees bent. You could hold your legs a little bit. Are you really letting go of your head, the neck, the jaw? Like living in the muscles of our neck and jaw is not, it's putting earth in the wrong place. Put the earth in your feet and legs. All right. Hands to the ground. Bend the knees and gently walk back to a plank position. So walk those feet back, back, back. One straight line like the top of a push-up, and you can let the knees come down. From here, slow chaturanga to the earth, lower to your belly. And then stay on your belly. Sphinx pose, elbows down. So I'll spin a little here. Feel the earth right under your belly now. Press into your elbows, your palms. You're welcome to stay in Sphinx, especially if the back is tender. It's a good place to be. Or Cobra pose, another earthy position. Snakes roll on the earth with their bellies. So hands under your shoulders, shoulders go back and lift up. Maybe it's a little lift, and you can lower down. Maybe just pulse it a little. You don't have to go very high, especially if that's tender on the back. Good. Lower. From there, make your way again to child's pose. Take your time lifting up. You can scoot your hips back to heels. Reach your arms in front. Your head down. You can just feel that gentle weight at your back and hips. Imagine at home a little massage of the neck here to release those upper body muscles. Couple more breaths. Exhale in your down dog. And exhale in your child's, then lift to down dog. One more time, just reach into your limbs. And we'll bring the hands and feet together. Slowly feet up, hands back. Bend the knees, a little sway. Push into your feet with the knees bent, we'll roll up. Circle your arms into the heart. And pause at the top. Notice how this earth body feels now. Do you feel a little more rooted in your tissues? And you feel more into your feet and legs? Good. So we'll turn and face the long side of our mat and take the feet out wide. A little bit of squatting. We'll take a wide stance with the toes out and the heels in. Toes are out, heels are in. And you could go real wide, or if it's hard on your hips, you could take it a little closer in. Bend your knees, hands to your legs, and just sort of push and switch a little here. Right. Okay. Press down through feet, hips, legs. Hold that squat with the lower limbs. Lift your upper body here. We're coming into what we call in yoga Jayasana, which is a Greek word. Gaia is earth. We'll take the arms out, just like little cups, right? Bend into the knees. Feel your weight shift a little bit. Steady with your breath. You might use your ujjayi breath again, as we did earlier. So this pose here connects us deeply to the earth element and to the very body of the earth under our feet. A little bit more. Good, and then take your hands and bring them in front of the heart. Chatur Mudra we opened with, just the fingertips to touch, unifying all the elements. Good, inhale, then we'll straighten the legs, release your hands, bring them to your hips. Just turn your toes in, your heels out now, and we'll fold in the center. You can have hands on blocks. At home, the hands could come to some furniture nearby if that was helpful. And shift your weight again. Just a couple breaths. Exhale. Push into your feet with the knees bent. We'll roll up. At the top, sweep your arms. Palms touch and hands to your heart space. Breathe in and out. Step your feet in. We'll come into a tree pose. If you need to scoot near a wall, you can touch a wall with your hands or any furniture nearby. Just make sure it's solid furniture at home. Don't do it on near a rolly chair. Stand on your right foot, bend your left knee, turn the leg out. Foot could stay low, or you could lift it. If you lift it, put it above your knee. Squeeze in. Feel a lift. Hands could stay at heart, or they could reach above. And here we're thinking about tree pose and its relationship to earth, but think also how all the elements are within this posture. Earth in the grounding, water in the roots, circulation, the breath nourishing the space around you. Take another inhale, and on exhale, release. We'll switch. Stand on your left, bend your right. Foot could stay low or it could lift. Once you get it in the right place for you, hug in. You want to feel energy drawing in, lifting up, like the sap that was rising up. Hands could stay at heart or overhead. Trees metabolize the sun's energy. It's a little fire energy. Good. Inhale, exhale, release. As you come down, you might just move a little, release any tension. Nicely done. Let's go wider with the feet, not as wide, just a little wider than hips width. Turn your toes out again. Bend your knees and maybe we'll just rest elbows on the legs. So it's just a high sort of squat. If your knees are tender, this is a good place to stay. The knees or the hips are tender. You might even shift your weight a little. If it feels okay and going deeper works for your body today, you might come low into, we call it malasana squat, but don't force this. So the squatting is a really good earth connector. If you're traveling in any format, a few minutes of malasana will ground you, get you back into the earth element. Traveling is very air and ether. Couple more breaths. And then we'll come all the way up so you can push into the feet and legs, lengthen. Slowly roll up, feel supported. One more sweep. Hands to your heart. Nicely done. With the feet wide, we'll just start to move the arms. And I've got my hands out. I'm lifting one heel as I switch to one side. And I want you to imagine now, as we shift to water, that you're in a body of water. Whatever you like, whatever comes to mind. Pond, lake, ocean, hot tub. I don't like hot tubs, but I know lots of people do. I have enough fire in me. I don't need more fire in the water. All right, so let your fingers make ripples on the surface of the water. Feel the water under your hands. Smell the water around you. And then we'll imagine those droplets of water lifting up into the air. So the next time you circle towards your right, sweep your arms up like the water rising up. And then exhale, rain it down the other side. And trace that a few times, over and up and down. Like the mist rising up and then raining down. One more time. And then come back to the water and trace a little side to side. Make those ripples again. And we'll go to the other direction. So your other side. And then the mist rises up. And then rain it down. So turning in the opposite direction now. Really feel the water under the hands and around you. Good, one more. And then as you come back to the surface, just make those ripples under your hands. And you feel the lower half in the water. You feel the water on your legs, your belly. And now still in this body of water, come to center. Just have a steady stance here. Imagine that we're scooping the water and we're just going to wash it over us. Do that a few times. Now, I'll give you the option to add a breath. Sitali pranayama. So imagine you're breathing in and out the mouth like a straw. You can just keep breathing. If that doesn't work for you, just breathe normally. Pouring the water. Can you use this breath through the mouth to lengthen the inhale and exhale? Feel the cool touch of the air in the mouth, the warm touch as you exhale. Couple more. Good. All right, and back to center. Bring your hand to your low belly. You might actually start on hips and then just trace low. So this region of your body is where we say water resides, in these watery organs. We say that water connects us to our emotions. Empedocles said that Nestis nourished the earth with her tears. So with the deep-rooted emotions, she provided nourishment through her waters. Inhale and exhale out. Let's come to the top of the mat. Stand in a mountain pose a moment. Exhale. And we'll cycle down towards the floor. So inhale, reach your arms. Bend the knees and forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Plant your hands. Let's step back to a down dog. Let's lengthen back. One more down dog. Inhale, and on an exhale, bring your knees to the mat. And we'll come back so you can sit back, and we'll help the legs around. So we often work the hips in yoga when we deal with water. We're going to come onto the back for a hip opener. So just come down, hug your knees, soften your back. And maybe we'll just start in a happy baby. So one option is just to take the knees kind of wide and hold the knees with the hands, the feet out. The other option is to grab for the feet. So if the hips are tight, maybe just hold the knees or reach for those feet. And rock a little bit, right? And so my teacher said water is joy. And happy baby embodies that. So feel that joy inside, that watery joy. Good. And let's take the feet now down to the floor. Bend the knees and rock your knees side to side a little bit. Windshield wiper. Wipe the water off the view. We'll take another hip opener here. Just simple ankle to thigh. So from feet flat, knees bent, take your right ankle and bring it to your left thigh. So you make, sometimes we call it figure 4 pose. You might bring your hands to the thigh bones and give them a little push. You could stay here if that was tender or plenty of stretch. Or maybe hug your left leg in, go a little deeper. We'll take just a few breaths. And they say that our emotions get bound up in these tissues. It's not uncommon for people to have emotional reactions when doing hip work. And let those tears nourish. Just like the tears of Nestus nourish the earth, let your tears nourish the earth. All right, exhale, release this side. And we'll move to the other side. You can take your left ankle onto your right thigh. The right foot starts at the floor. You could stay here. Maybe push the thigh bones away, or hug in your right leg for a deeper stretch. Take a few breaths. And just notice the sensations. Inhale, then exhale, release that. Feet flat, rock your knees again a little side to side. From here, we'll roll to the side and come up to a seated pose. You might like to sit on support if sitting up is hard on the back, but not a big support, maybe just a little lift. And I'll begin with my legs just lengthened out and give them a little hop and a roll. I'll take the bottoms of the feet together, bound angle. You can hold the feet and shift your weight a little. Then keep your right leg in, stretch your left leg long. Janu Shirshasana, right? Same thing we did while standing. We'll make little cups with the hands in through the mouth, like you're lifting the water, and then out the mouth, wash it over. If you need to breathe normally, that's absolutely okay. Continue here. Lengthen the breath, connecting with the water. We'll do one more. Good. And then sitting upright. We'll switch sides. Stretch the right leg out, bend your left leg in. Same thing. Inhale. Exhale. And one more. Excellent. And then just bring those legs again to bound angle. You could stay upright or come forward. Just a few breaths. All right, coming up, help the knees up. Bring the feet flat. We'll start to work towards fire, which for me is always, fire is in the region of the belly, the abdominals, the digestive organs. So when we activate this area through movement and abdominal exercises, we stimulate digestion. So boat pose, which is a little water fire, feet flat to start. And sometimes I just lift the feet a little bit. Now, if that really bothers your back or your SI joints, you could just keep your feet to the floor and lift the heart. Maybe just a little lift of the feet. Feels okay, you might go a little higher. You can hold your legs for support. We just don't want to round and slouch into the back, right? Keep that nice and lifted. You could stay here. You could reach your arms. You could straighten your legs. Your choice. I'm going to count for 10. So you could come in and out. We'll take it here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet down. Rock your knees. We'll do one more cycle of 10 or a 10 count. Again, you could stay sort of low. Even just here, you're already engaging through your core muscles to hold here, right? So that's one place to be. Or you could lift. Again, we'll hold. I'm going to hold my legs this time, and I'll count as you're ready. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. Feet down. Rock the knees. Let's go ahead and press back onto our elbows. As you press onto the elbows, sort of lounging back, if it bothers your neck, you could just lie flat on the floor. Try to keep a lift at your heart, and we'll just reach one leg up, then the other. And you could stay right with this. Very gentle to the back, but already engaging core muscles. Maybe you straighten the legs and continue there. Keep that heart lifted. You can always lie down if you feel you need to. Maybe both legs. That would be the most challenge to core and back, so if it's a little too much, stay with one at a time. Good, inhale. Exhale, we'll come down, and now we'll all come onto the back. This time, take your legs up to this 90-degree angle. So the knees are bent above the floor. Interlace your fingers, hold your head, and we'll just do 10 little curls up. So squeeze those legs, press through the feet, inhale. Exhale, lift the head, elbows up, just a little curl. And then up, so the feet can stay up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then you can come on down and rest the feet and legs, maybe windshield wiper again. And our last abdominal movement. So all these abdominals, they help to move along the contents of the intestines, right? It helps to pulse. Those organs don't have a pump like the heart does. It's our movement that will facilitate the process of digestion. So abdominal movement helps that process. We'll take the knees up again, just as they were. And this time, stretch your arms out into a T shape at the floor on either side. And we'll just rock gently side to side. So exhale, knees over towards your right. Doesn't have to go very far. Then come back up to middle and over to the left. Just a little side to side motion. All right, let's come back to center. Bring those feet down. Take a pause, full breath in and out here. Bring your hands to your belly. And already here, start to trace actually the very bottom of your rib cage. This is where the diaphragm sits. It's an umbrella-shaped muscle that's under the lungs but above the organs. And it helps facilitate breath. It's moving constantly, just like the heart. And it's massaging your abdominal organs. Access that here, sort of get a feeling sense of the breath coming from this place in the body. And you feel the belly moving with the breath. And then send some love to our belly. I think Especially women, we don't always love our belly. So really just through your hands, feel the love for this area of your body. All right, exhale, and we'll come to sit. Come all the way up. One more thing for fire. We'll take Kapalabhati breath. Breath of fire. If this makes you feel dizzy or uncomfortable, you can certainly just breathe normally. You don't have to force it. Comfortable seated position with support. Kapalabhati is a diaphragmatic action. It's pulsing through the abdominals and through the diaphragm. We shouldn't be, moving the upper body much. This should be pretty stable. So rest your hands, tuck your chin. Maybe just feel how the breath moves with the belly. On deep belly breaths. To learn this, we pant like a dog. So we do this. Can you feel how that's isolating it at your belly? Now just close the mouth, breathe through the nose. Can you still keep that action in the belly? Right, the inhale is just a rebound. It's not a forced thing. Okay, release that. All right, you can release, just take a normal breath. We'll do 3 rounds of 30. And if you need to just breathe normally, that's completely okay. As you're ready, so you can pant to learn to get it and then shift to nose as you're ready. Breathe in and out. Deep breath in, and we'll begin. Exhale, release, take a few normal breaths. That was round 1. We'll do 2 more. Again, you can always just breathe normally if you're feeling like lightheaded or it's just not comfortable or it's tight in your chest. As you're ready, inhale, exhale, begin. Exhale. A few normal breaths. Relax. One more cycle as you're ready. So breath in and out, and then we'll inhale, begin. Exhale. And just come back to normal breath. Nicely done. Continuing to sit cross-legged. If you need more support, go ahead. We'll take a big breath in. We're moving to air. Feel the arms reach up. And then exhale down. And just see if you can coordinate this breath with your arms. Inhale like you have giant wings moving in the air. Can you feel gently the air under your skin, around your skin? Air is vital energy. It is our most immediate connection to what we call prana in yoga, life force. We know we need to eat a healthy diet to stay vital and strong. We know we need to drink enough water, but we often don't spend much attention on our breath. So here's a few quick things, right? You breathe through your nose as much as you can and slow your breath. Inhale up and now turn towards your right and take a twist. Bring one hand to the knee and one hand to the floor. Now notice a spot at the edge of your field of vision. So notice a point that's right at the edge. Like you're not straining, but if you turned any more, it would feel like a strain. Notice one point with your eyes. And exhale, then inhale, just come back to center. Reach your arms up, and then hands down. And we will turn to the exact same side. So inhale, lift up, and exhale, turn. Same side. As you bring hand to knee and hand behind you and you turn, as you twist, can you see a little further now? And exhale, then inhale, center, reach your arms up. And we'll turn to the other side. Hold the knee, bring the hand behind you, and just whatever that edge of your field of vision is, notice that spot there. Feel this as a gentle twist in your back. A little bit of twist to those belly organs. Inhale, center. You could reach your arms up, just pause. And we'll turn to that same side again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. One hand to knee, one hand behind you. As you extend your gaze, can you see just a little past that point? Good. Inhale, center. Switch the cross of your legs as you're ready, and we'll walk the hands forward. And as you walk the hands forward, round your back, right? Draw the navel in, and maybe shift your weight a little. Can you feel the back body? And maybe if you lean a little to your right, can you fill up that right back lung? And then maybe to the other side, fill up left back lung. Just remind yourself to fill the breath up in the back. So we breathe through the nose, we slow the breath, and we fill the trunk of the body deeply with breath. Front body, side body, back body. All right, walk your hands in, help your legs up, maybe hop and roll, and bend your right knee. So I'm not mirroring now. Bring your right elbow inside, and we'll twist to the left. Just turn the arm out and turn. Just a little twist here. Relax the shoulders, tuck the chin. All right, exhale. Inhale, center, counter twist. Hold the knee, turn the other way. And back to center. Switch sides, right leg down, left leg up. Left elbow inside of knee. Sweep right arm out. And twist. Tuck the chin, relax your shoulders. Be with your breath. So focusing on shoulders, trunk of body, lungs for the element of air. Feel that little lift at your heart. All right, exhale, and on inhale, come to center and counter twist. Hold the knee, turn the other way. And back to center. Nicely done. Either with legs straight out or bent knees, bring your fingers behind you. Let me turn a little to the side. Fingertips, and feel the shoulders drop back. The shoulder blades, they frame the back of the heart, and feel your heart lift. Take 3 deep breaths. Inhale, fill the rib cage, upper chest, and exhale, and inhale. Exhale, one more. And release. Nicely done. All right, we'll come back to seated. So, one more breath pattern here. And we will take Nadi Shodhana to wrap up the air element. This is alternate nostril breathing. I've been sharing with folks all week that I took a workshop on the scientific benefits of alternate nostril breath. And there's so many benefits for your heart and your nervous system. It's really, there's a lot of science to back it up. So I will offer this to you with just the visualizing, and then you could use the hand to block one nostril of the other. Take a normal breath in and out and just soften. Exhale fully. On your next inhale, imagine you're breathing in just through your left nostril, all the way to the top, and then imagine you exhale just through the right nostril. Slowing down the breath. And inhale through just the right nostril. And then you'd exhale just the left. You can continue just that visualizing pattern. Or using your hand, ring finger and thumb, gently towards bridge of nose. You close the right and inhale left. And then you'd close the left and exhale right. And you'd inhale right. And then close the right and exhale left. So you carry the inhale to the other side. Continue in either way, visualizing or with the hand position. We'll go about another minute. Slowing the breath to slow the heart rate, to calm the nervous system. The next time you exhale through your left side, you can release that way of breathing. Take a few normal breaths. As we shift towards the ether element, the element of space, we'll do two things. We'll take one pranayama and then a brief meditation. We are more space than matter. Quantum physics tells us this. So we're acknowledging the infinite potential of space. We'll bring the breath in three parts, so three spaces. This is Kevali Kumbhaka. So a kumbha in Sanskrit is like a gourd. It's like a pot, like a water vessel. So it's like this thing that holds substance. And this is your kumbha, is this whole region. So we're going to fill it up in three parts, like we're filling a glass in three locations and then pouring it all out at once. So we'll exhale fully, and then you'll sip in a little breath to the belly and pause. Then you'll breathe in a little more to the heart and pause. And then feel like you're filling it up, feel like you're bringing it all the way to your third eye and pause. And then exhale one breath out. You could take a normal breath in between if you like. I like to use the hand. It's up to you. So ready as you're ready. Exhale, then inhale from earth to belly. Continue inhale, belly to heart. Finish inhale, heart to third eye. And then exhale. Normal breath if you need it. As you're ready, from earth to belly. Belly to heart. Heart to third eye. Exhale. A few more times. Earth to belly. Feel the space around the breath. Belly to heart. Heart to third eye. Exhale. Again, earth to belly. Belly to heart. Heart to third eye. Exhale. One more. Earth to belly. Belly to heart. Heart to third eye. And exhale. And now take a normal breath or two here. This feels spacious. There's this buoyant, light quality of space, a sense of freedom. Life doesn't have to be so heavy, no matter what's happening. There's so much space within you and around you. So we'll take a few minutes of meditation here. If you feel you need to lie down for this, that is completely welcome. And if you do choose to lie down, we'll probably shift right into Shavasana from there. So your choice entirely. If you're remaining seated, I'll guide you when we finish the meditation so you can come down if you choose. Now with meditation, it's impossible to stop your thoughts. But what you'll work to do is to put space between your thoughts and your breath. So when a thought arises, notice it, feel the space between the thought and the breath, and come back to your breath. There's no fighting the mind. Just notice it with love and come back to the breath. I'll ring a bell at the end of our meditation. We'll move to our full rest now. So if you're already on the ground, just stay there and let it all release. And if you're upright and you'd like to lie down, you can gently make your way. In the room, I'll come around with a little neck assist. If you don't want that, just make sure your card's on no. And if you feel you need a blanket, let me know. I'm happy to bring one over. I'll be here for a few minutes. At home, just imagine this loving tug at your neck, maybe a little massage at your temples. Invite your breath to deepen. As the air draws in, notice your connection to the earth as you lie in resting stillness. You might bring your hands to your belly, feeling that seed of fire, that love of this region of your body, and the space within and around you. Feel the waters circulating within. And then let that movement extend into your limbs, reaching into the space on either side. Reach into arms and legs. You can bend your knees in one at a time. Roll to your side, maybe pause. And take your time as you bring yourself to a seated position. You can sit upright and bring a hand to heart and belly and feel the unity of all these elements within your body, breath, mind, and spirit. Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. 2 quotes to share, one by Victoria Erickson. Don't dismiss the elements. Water soothes and heals. Air refreshes and revives. Earth grounds and holds. Fire is a burning reminder of our own will and creative power. Swallow their spells and know there's a sweet and certain comfort in that you belong to them all. And Empedocles, the force that unites the elements to become all things is love. Bring your hands together at heart space and rub your palms. And we'll close with the sound of Om 3 times. Exhale and inhale deeply. Om. Om. With a breath in, reach your arms out and up. Let your palms touch overhead. Lift your gaze. Exhale, lower your hands, thumbs to brush the point between your brows, center for clear seeing. Lower to brush your lips to speak clearly and truthfully, and to rest at heart space, to abide in kindness, compassion, and gratitude. May the many benefits of this practice radiate into all the places in your life. Namaste.